Hey fam, this is Lady R. So I put a video out there that said day 5, but actually it was day 6. Day 5, I didn't record anything. I kept trying to get to it, but the day was very busy. I went to church. There was a lot of cooking and um, early afternoon classes. Once the early afternoon classes were over with, we kind of had a discussion, and then I sat and I talked with my husband and spent some time with him. I didn't do any tracking. I actually had lunch with my son too. I only see him once a week at church, and so he stayed after to eat lunch with me at home, and then he went to work. But that's what my Saturday kind of looks like. Sometimes I do activities, but there aren't any. Now, in the book that I'm reading by Dr. David Burns, he suggested that I take the test weekly. I have not retaken the test yet, but I will, and I will talk about that. The thing is also that he was discussing in his writing was that these therapies work, but they're not permanent. That's just like when you lose weight. Is that permanent? Not always. Same thing with your mental health. It is a continued process. You have to work on it daily. So I also went back to read chapter 1 and chapter 2 again, because I'm not trying to fly through this. I really want to get this. I truly want to understand, and I want to get to the root cause of my depression. And I have a feeling I know what it is, but depression doesn't always have to be one thing. You know, you could be depressed about something else that day, and that's where you sit and you do some thinking to figure out, why are you depressed today? What is causing you to be gloomy, sad, and disconnected? It's a day by day thing, and it's never a situation where it is one thing only. There are many things. Then the book talks about mania. Someone who is super, super, super happy, and then they're hyped up on achieving goals, and bottom line, he said that person was self-centered. And they also have like super lows. So yeah, it was just real interesting, like how he talked about that individual, and that individual that is super high one day and super low the next day, and it could be the same day. They could benefit from reading his book, but they also should probably be on medication and seeing a therapist and a psychiatrist, because it's serious. Serious to the point of the second half of those questions that he asked about, do you feel like checking out, or, not being here, or, but there is one in that table that he said most people actually feel, and it's not really a situation where they need to call 911 or anything like that, because it's a fleeting moment, and that it was under the suicidal urges. It says, do you have any suicidal thoughts? A lot of times people might say something like, people would be better off if I wasn't here. That's a fleeting thought sometimes. It's not necessarily something that they truly want. They're just saying that. So I just caution you, because he also talks about, like, when he says your depression is a result of your cognition, it's what you think, it's what you put in your brain, it's what you feed yourself. Like myself, I'm on that journey to lose weight. So if I'm constantly eating chips and chocolate and soda, I'm not going to lose the weight. I can't expect to get healthy if I'm consistently putting junk in my body. Same thing goes with your mind. If you're having those defeated moments that I talked about before. How I may think, God, this is just terrible. But you know what? It's the pessimistic person faces the optimistic person. You have to try to find the good in the bad. A lot of times we distort the bad and we make it seem like it is so huge than what it really is. And it's literally just maybe a moment that situation is happening. And even if it isn't a moment, just remember that you'll get past that situation. Or if it's something like, I have 3 arthritises and I deal with pain every day. Guess what? I figured out a way to survive with this pain. And that was, I went plant-based. I went plant-based simply because I needed to cut out all of the artificial ingredients and white sugar, which causes inflammation and cancer. A lot of people are not aware that white sugar causes cancer. And I'm not talking about just a little bit of white sugar. I'm talking about someone who has white sugar just inundated in their full diet, and that they just, everything is full of sugar. And that's what happens when you eat high processed food. In order for them to preserve it, it is full of sugar. That's how it lasts on the shelf for as long as it does. I'm not upset with somebody or beating somebody up because that's what they choose. That's okay. That's okay for you. For me, I want to feel better. And that's what I chose. I chose the plant-based diet so that I could function, because I could not function. I could not get, I literally got up every morning in pain, got to my desk, and I cried all day. I left work, I came home, I showered, I took medication, and I laid on ice and heat all night and all evening. That was my life. Wake up, go to work, take some crazy medication that had me all, for the lack of better words, high, where I couldn't function, and then crying at my desk all day, and then wiping my tears and acting like nothing was going on, and working throughout the whole day as if I was not in pain that was screaming to me, you know? So I had to figure it out. And the thing is cleaning up my diet and cleaning up my thoughts and getting proper sleep, exercise, being hydrated, and getting sun. Because without the vitamin D causes body aches or muscle aches or bone aches rather. I know, I just went 3 times with that. It's surprising what happens when you're vitamin D deficient. It really causes a lot of pain and it wreaks havoc on your body. But you need K2 to go with that. So you can eat kale, carrots, or you can take the K2. I try to eat my vitamins as much as I can. However, with me being a plant-based person, I do need to take B12 because that is found in animals, and the animals get it from the dirt. I don't know if people are aware of that. That's how the animals actually get their B12. It comes from the dirt. Mushrooms have B12, but I would have to eat too many mushrooms to count. So I take B12, and I do eat mushrooms. And there's something else that I take. And the B12 nutritional yeast has B12. And then there is the DHA and the omega-3s and things like that. I get that in the flax, walnuts, and your seeds. If you eat a lot of seeds, you get the omega-3s and that type of situation. But all of your vegetables and fruits have a portion of protein in them. And there's the seitan that I make. It has a lot of protein, like 20 grams per 84 grams of the seitan that you make. Same thing with tofu. It has a lot. I mean, so there's a lot of ways to get protein as a plant-based eater. A lot of people are not aware of that, but I just kind of wanted to put that out there. I can't see. Okay, 10 minutes. All right. I am going to my trainer tonight. I'm hoping to record some of this. We'll see. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day.